The Egyptian Sphinx is undoubtedly one of the most iconic ancient sculptures in the world. However, how much do we really know about it? And who knows the truth about this fascinating statue? It turns out that there is a wealth of information available about the Sphinx that might surprise you. You may not even realize how much you didn't know until you watch a video about it. One theory that many have proposed, but no one has been able to prove, is the existence of a secret passage or tunnel under the Sphinx, leading to underground chambers. This idea was first introduced by historian Matt Simpson, who believes that there are corridors beneath the statue that are connected to the pyramids of Giza. According to Simpson, during archaeological excavations in 1837, a secret passage was discovered, and Egyptologist Colonel Howard Vyse witnessed this event. Interestingly, both the team and Vyse were forced to keep this discovery a secret for some reason. The Simpson theory seemed absurd until 2019, when hidden tunnels were found under the Giza Plateau. If there are tunnels, then they must lead somewhere. If we assume that the interior cavities of the Sphinx have a specific purpose, then the connection between the pyramids and the nearby sculpture makes sense. However, the question of why archaeologists and Colonel Vyse were ordered to keep this discovery a secret remains a mystery. Perhaps the discovery of these hidden tunnels could have revealed something that people in power wanted to remain hidden. It's possible that the tunnels could have led to secret chambers containing priceless artifacts, or maybe they were part of an underground network of tombs and passageways that extended beyond the Giza Plateau. The Sphinx is an ancient sculpture that continues to fascinate people all over the world. Despite its imposing size, it is a fact that the monument was carved from a single piece of limestone by hundreds of workers until it reached its current size of 73 meters long and 20 meters high. However, the modern Sphinx has undergone repairs and partial reconstructions with limestone blocks, altering its original shape. The construction of such a massive sculpture using only hand tools seems like a monumental task even for modern-day construction or design companies. It's astonishing that the ancient Egyptians achieved this feat with such primitive tools. Despite its historical significance, the architect who directed the Sphinx construction remains unknown, and there are no inscriptions to indicate who built it. The Sphinx origin and purpose continue to be debated by experts and enthusiasts alike. While some believe it was created as a symbol of Pharaoh Khafra, others argue that it was conceived as an incarnation of Anubis, the dog-headed god. Although the accepted archaeological and historical version credits the sculpture to Khafra, some still challenge this view. Finally, there are those who propose the controversial idea that the Sphinx may have extraterrestrial origins. However, this theory lacks credible evidence, and most experts dismiss it as baseless speculation. According to certain scholars, the statue's body resembles that of a lion, representing the Leo zodiac sign. However, lions did not hold any significant status in ancient Egyptian culture. On the other hand, dogs, particularly Anubis, were considered essential. When observing the Sphinx's silhouette, its flat back and leg positioning closely resemble that of a dog. Additionally, Anubis was believed to be the protector of the necropolis. If, as speculated, the Giza Plateau served as a necropolis, then it makes sense for the sculpture of Anubis to be gazing at it. The lack of inscriptions on the statue has left researchers questioning who built it. While some suggest that it may be the image of Pharaoh Khafra, built between 2558 and 2532 AD, there is no concrete evidence to support this theory or any consensus as to who constructed it. The purpose of the Sphinx is also unclear, adding to the mystery surrounding it. The absence of information about one of the world's largest sculptures and Egypt's oldest known monumental sculpture is concerning. The fact that it is not even mentioned in the literature of the old Egyptian kingdom makes it even more perplexing. During the New Kingdom, the Egyptians referred to the statue as Shesep-an Khafra, which means the animated image of Khafra or Hormachet, the god of the mountains on the horizon. However, this was not the first title, and the statue was not referred to as the Sphinx until around 2,000 years ago. The lack of records about the construction and naming of the Sphinx in a civilization that meticulously recorded its history raises suspicion. It is possible that these manuscripts were destroyed, but the reason for their destruction is unknown. The Sphinx remains an enigma, shrouded in mystery, waiting for future discoveries to shed light on its origin and purpose. One of the most intriguing questions surrounding the Sphinx is what happened to its nose. The most commonly accepted explanation is that the French army under Napoleon Bonaparte's command damaged the sculpture during a battle near Giza in 1798. However, there is no direct evidence supporting this theory, and it appears unlikely. According to al-Makrizi, an Arab historian, the Sphinx nose has been missing since the 15th century, and it is possible that it was already damaged before then. Al-Makrizi alleges that the nose was destroyed by a Fatimid sheikh named Muhammad Samam al-Dahar, although there is no concrete evidence to support this either. The most controversial theory proposes that the Sphinx nose was intentionally broken by Europeans to conceal its classic African appearance, which would prove that the ancient Egyptians were of African descent. However, this is highly debated and lacks credible evidence. There is an alternative theory regarding the missing nose of the Sphinx that suggests it was damaged by erosion. However, this idea also faces a significant challenge. Recent research on the effects of water currents on the Sphinx indicates that it is even older than previously thought. Geologist Robert Schoch argues that the erosion patterns visible on the statue's sides could only have resulted from thousands of years of regular rainfall, which has not occurred in this area for over 7,000 years. According to Schoch, the erosion damage on the Sphinx is approximately 12,000 years old. If this could be confirmed, it would challenge and alter our understanding of Egypt's history. However, Schoch's theory has been met with skepticism by many of his colleagues who regard it as speculative. Nonetheless, the fact that water damage is visible on the Sphinx raises uncomfortable questions that existing explanations fail to answer. And here is one of the most amazing facts about the Sphinx. The Sphinx was not visible for a long time, as it wasn't until the 18th century that people became aware of its existence. In fact, the Sphinx was entirely covered by sand until the top of the statue began to peek out of the sand. Even then, it took until the 1930s for the Sphinx to be fully excavated by Émile Barrès, a French engineer who worked on the project for 10 years. This begs the question, why was the Sphinx buried in the first place? The fact that it was so deeply buried suggests that it was intentionally hidden. But who did it and why? There are many theories, but no concrete evidence. Some suggest that the sand simply accumulated over time, while others speculate that the Sphinx was buried to protect it from damage or destruction during times of war. The question of whether the Sphinx is missing part of its head is worth exploring. While some believe that it once had a full forehead profile and top of the skull, others point to the obvious damage to its nose and the possibility of a beard on its chin. However, the rest of its face is also in poor condition, and not all of this damage can be attributed to natural processes. It is likely that someone either mutilated or remade the sculpture's face, possibly more than once. The head size is also questionable, as the Egyptians were known to be meticulous about the proportions of their statues. This could mean that either the head is not authentic, supporting the Anubis theory, or that it has been so extensively altered and destroyed that little remains of the original version. In recent times, a new mystery has emerged concerning the Sphinx's face. A photo published in 2022 showed the monument with closed eyes. This is impossible, as the Sphinx has always been depicted with open eyes since its excavation in the 1930s. Nonetheless, several images have circulated on social media showing the sculpture seemingly standing with closed eyes, leading some to proclaim it as a sign of the apocalypse. However, there is likely a simple explanation for this phenomenon. Either the images were taken from a particular angle, causing an optical illusion, or someone used Photoshop to manipulate the original image. Given that multiple photos from different angles show the Sphinx with closed eyes, the latter explanation seems more plausible. Rest assured, the Sphinx eyes are still open, and thousands of people have seen and photographed it since. As we mentioned earlier, the Sphinx beard is not just a myth. A piece of it is housed in the British Museum, one of many Egyptian artifacts that perhaps should not be there. According to official records, the beard fragments were discovered in the 19th century between the Sphinx's front legs. However, this is unlikely as the legs were buried under sand until the 1930s. The lack of transparency in the Sphinx history is disappointing, but not surprising. Despite this, the Sphinx beard is a reality, and there is currently a campaign in Egypt to restore it to its original place on the monument. The Sphinx remains a mystery that still baffles scholars and historians to this day. One of the most significant revelations is that its true age is still unknown. While many believe that it's older than the pyramids, there's no definitive proof of its age. It could have been constructed before the time of Pharaoh Khafre, who is often associated with the Sphinx. The effects of limestone erosion further complicate the matter, but if the monument is indeed 9,000 years old or more, it would challenge our current understanding of ancient Egyptian civilization. It's not a question of whether aliens were involved in its construction, as some theorists suggest, but rather who might have lived on Earth before ancient Egyptians. The Sphinx mysteries continue to inspire awe and wonder, and we can only hope that future discoveries will help unravel its enigmatic past. Perhaps the bigger mystery is what this Sphinx was carved for and what its purpose was. Was it really meant to depict Khafre, as some historians believe, or was it originally intended to be a colossal sculpture of Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the dead? If so, why was it later modified, and what happened to the original head? These are just some of the mysteries that continue to baffle experts and enthusiasts alike. Another puzzling aspect is the lack of written records or inscriptions detailing the sculpture's creation. What was its name when it first appeared, and what was its intended purpose? Was it built to serve a practical or spiritual function, or was it simply a display of the pharaoh's wealth and power? And why did no other pharaohs attempt to replicate this masterpiece, given its perceived significance? These unanswered questions only add to the Sphinx enigma, sparking the curiosity of those who seek to understand the monument's true meaning and purpose. As we ponder these mysteries, we are reminded of the countless wonders and mysteries of ancient Egypt that continue to fascinate us today. So, as we wrap up this discussion, I encourage you to ask yourself similar questions and explore the many fascinating aspects of this remarkable monument. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell for more thought-provoking content. Thank you for your attention, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.